Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of defending gun tight. You know what, I'll call this part 2.5 because I actually did make a part 2 that I was going to drop on the regular channel. However, I thought it was too long. I like to have shorter videos on the regular side and maybe longer videos on the member side. And so I dropped that video on the member side and I decided that I wanted to make more of a shorter version for the regular channel, and that's what this is for. Okay, so in the first part, obviously you guys definitely go check that out if you haven't. I put a couple of pages from a professional team's playbook, as we see on the screen here, and I kind of wanted to drive home the concept of what they were trying to do, because what we see on screen, we see Zorro, Zulu, and Zebra, and Madden doesn't have this in the game. It doesn't have this in the game, and it really doesn't have this coded correctly in the game. This is probably the closest to how Madden plays it when you play cover 3 in the game of Madden. But the whole point of what I was trying to drive home in that video was what this team was trying to do while playing a single high defense against this formation was they were trying to leverage the outside of the defense. And it makes sense because I've made videos on cover 1 where in cover 1, if you're playing cover 1 man, you have to imagine divider lines right here on the numbers if the ball is in the middle of the field, and your corners will play their leverage relative to where they are from the divider line. So for example, if we're playing cover 1 man and we have deep safety here with a corner and this is the wide receiver, you may think that you have to play with outside leverage because your help is to the inside, but that's not true based upon where you're at on the field. Okay, the safety really is playing inside the numbers where your help is, and it's just too far of a distance for him to travel to help you out on like a skinny post or even a regular post from this split. So in retrospect, when you think about it, with this divider line here, if you're the corner, you'd rather play with inside leverage, even while in cover 1 man, because your help isn't to the inside, it's really the sideline. Okay, now when you think about that on a deeper level, when you're dealing with this formation, think about what opponents are trying to do when they pick this formation. For the most part, aren't they really trying to attack the outside? Think about like the bench concept that they run, right? Or I think a play called PA seams, right? So I went over this in the first video. They're really trying to attack the outside of your defense. That's their priority. And it makes sense because they reduce the splits of the receivers, so they have more space to run their routes to the outside, right? If I'm a receiver out here, there's more space to run to the inside. But if I'm a receiver here, I have a lot more space to run to the outside of the defense, right? Okay, well, this formation is tucked inside the divider line, the entire formation. There's no one on the outside of the divider line. And if you are trying to prioritize attacking to the outside, why not play a defense that leverages the outside of that defense? Which makes sense, right? So that's why I like to play a lot of single high against a coverage like this if you're trying to take the outside, right? And that's where I showcased in the last video, part 1, cover 3 cloud. Okay, well, that's what this part 2, we're going to dive a little bit deeper. And I'm going to ask you a question, okay? So if I were to ask you, what do you play against bunch, right? Well, what do you play? Some may say, well, I play cover 4, or I play cover 9. Some may say I play cover 3 buzz. That's great, right? So then I ask you, okay, what do you play against doubles sets, 2x2 sets? Regular spread. Well, I play, cover 3 match, where I play cover 1 man, and then I mix in some cover 6, right? And we just keep going and going and going, and that's all fine and dandy. Like, you have a diverse set of different coverages that you play against different formations, and you really want to have that, because if you only play cover 4 match against bunch and that's all you play, well, now your opponent can develop an advantage against that, because now I know whenever I come out in bunch, I know you're in cover 4, and we can develop plays to specifically attack the weaknesses that that formation may create against cover 4, right? So that's a problem. That's why you want to diversify the different ways you play different formations. Okay, but there's still a problem in the answers, right? So what do you do against empty? So I may say, okay, I play cover 2 match. Okay, so let's go over this really quickly. You guys know in cover 2 match, what you do, you put both of your cloud flats into soft squats, take that middle read player and you turn him into anything but mid read, and then you have to user this player and relate to the number 3. So I have a series on this, definitely go check it out. Very solid coverage, I love utilizing it against a variety of different opponents. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna match the number 3, we match them, and as we see on the outside, they're not playing zone anymore due to the route distribution. It really converts into 2-man, and it can really confuse your opponents, especially when you play the coverage throughout the game, because they'll see post snap that you were in cover 2, but it felt like cover 2-man post snap, right? So we are kind of morphing to what the defense does. Okay, now on to the whole point of this video. Let's say you want to play cover, you want to have a cover 2 shell no matter what against a specific formation. Kind of like how we want to have a single high shell against gun tight, right? Don't we like cloud defense against gun tight? There's different defenses you can play, but I'm trying to drive the point home, okay? All right, so we want to play 2 match against this defense. Well, the problem with the answers that someone may give against what they play against different formations that I gave earlier with the example is that they have no pressure package. That's the problem. And I'm kind of guilty of this too. If your answer is always, you know, cover 6, cover 4 here, cover 3 buzz here, but you never have a specific pressure that you have against a specific formation, you know, when you run across savvy opponents, they're just gonna dot you to death, right? Because they're never forced to have to process more information quicker because they're not getting rushed. There's no threat of a rush. They don't have to even think about the potential of a rush. A lot of times, if you don't even rush, but there's a possibility that someone is coming, that can force opponents to make mistakes, right? But you may ask, well, I don't want to play cover 0, because when you play cover 0, you vacate a lot of the back end of the coverage, right? So how do we alleviate this issue? And one way you can alleviate that is to utilize a creeper blitz. So what is a creeper blitz? We are bringing someone from the 2nd or 3rd level of the defense on a pressure, but then we are replacing that blitzing defender with someone from the 1st level into the back end of the coverage. Then we are shifting everyone in the back end to maintain like the structure of the back end. Okay, so if you look at this, what if we can bring this guy on a pressure, right? But we still maintain everything the way it is. We just rotate the coverage. So what if we can bring this guy on a vert hook? This guy will go to the deep zone. And you may say, well, no matter what, you're going to be -1 on the back end. No, that's why we bring someone from the 1st level into the 2nd level, and he would take relating to the number 3. So if you think about it, we'd still be rushing 4 defenders at the quarterback, but we present someone coming from the 2nd level to, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it. You can confuse the quarterback, you can mess up the pass protection. What if they're sliding to the right and they're man-to-man here and you can come free and we're only rushing 4, right? So this is where I get into like exotic blitzes from cover 2 match. I don't think I've made a video on this yet with cover 2 match, but obviously I will. In a play we can pick, it'll look like this. So it'll rotate like this, okay? And you notice how we're bringing 5, but I turn this into a creeper blitz, and you'll see how I do this. So this is a play, weak side blitz 2, I believe it's called, from big nickel over G. And we get this rotation where the safety comes down and he's coming on a rush. This safety comes over and he plays deep half. This guy comes up and he plays deep half. And as you notice, we got soft squats on the outside and there's no middle read. So we still are playing this cover 2 match deal. The only problem is we don't have someone to relate to the number 3 because we're bringing someone from the back end of the coverage. So how can we rectify that? Well, we just take someone from the 1st level and we do all of the job that we would have for that relate to number 3 player. So how do we do that? Well, obviously, remember, we have to select this player and we do it ourselves. So what I do is I select this play. I know we are in cover 2 match with the pressure here. I just take this player and I relate to the number 3 the same way. Now, obviously, there are weaknesses to this because this is a worse player in coverage. He's a little bit slower, but you know, it's all about the deception that we cause with creeper blitzes. Okay, I've gotten plenty of interceptions with this, so I will go over this particular exotic pressure in the cover 2 series, hopefully sooner rather than later. You'll see I just hold up while I'm playing against an opponent. So at the snap of the ball, I immediately go up the field and I just relate to the number 3. And I usually just play hard inside. Just remember, if he goes to the flat, he becomes like the new number 2. And then if something comes inside and becomes a new number 3, I'm already in position with a inferior coverage player from the first level. You can play cover 3 and develop it into a creeper. You can play 2-man and turn that into a creeper blitz. You can play cover 1-man, turn that into a creeper blitz. You can turn any defense into a creeper blitz. You can get very creative with it. The problem with Madden is what I will show you here. So look, we have curl flat, hook curl, etc. Let's say this is what you play against trips. Call it blah blah, right? These curl flat, hook to curl, curl flat, deep third, right? So how can we turn this into a creeper blitz? Well, what if we have this guy blitz? Okay. Well, now we need you to take this responsibility. And we need you to take this responsibility. Remember, with a creeper, we rotate the back end of the coverage to compensate for that second or third level coming, right? But again, no matter what, we are in a -1 here, right? And we'll keep him the same. We take someone from the first level. Now he's the new hook curl. So you see, we are still rushing 4, but it's not the traditional 4. We're bringing someone from the second level. Quarterback may see that, think he has to throw hot or get happy feet or whatever, but we're still the same in structure in the back end. That's basically what I'm trying to get at, okay? So remember my original question, we need to develop a pressure. But the problem is with this formation is we really want to leverage the outside of this defense, and we do it from a single high coverage. But what if we kind of don't want to give up too much vacant space in the back end? Well, let's create a creeper blitz. But we run into another problem. It takes forever to, adjust players to create one. Well, they do actually have a creeper blitz that I like to call. And now we knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. And it's Okie Eagle 3. I have it in a dime set formation. Maybe I will leave that in the description. And notice how we are still running cover 3 cloud, right? But look at what we do with this coverage. We have a safety coming down on a pressure. And as I stated, we are rotating everyone to maintain the structure of the defense. So we still get the same hard flat, hook curls, curl flat, and then the 3 deep third players. But then we take someone from the first level and we utilize them in the coverage. So we still only rush 4, but we still are bringing someone from the second or third level. And you'll see we get the same results. So again, I still do the same thing. What are we supposed to do? We take that curl flat player and we pre-snap align him to the outside of the number 2. So I always do that when I pick this because I don't want to be leveraged to the outside. Then I take the hook curl player and I do the same responsibilities as I do in cloud. The only difference is now we have this pressure packaged in with cover 3 cloud, right? And that's the beauty of this. Here's an example of me running it. It looks crazy to your opponent, right? Because you get all this pre-snap movement as well. Very hard to kind of decipher on what's going on. You see he motions in. Like, look, I mean, that's the reason why he did that. I'm just noticing this now. Why did he motion in that guy to block? Because of all, it looks like a pressure is coming. And this is the whole benefit of a creeper blitz. You can look how he's blocking, I believe, 6 players, and I think we still get someone coming scot-free. Okay, the whole point, the best blitz action, you don't want to live in cover 0 the entire time to get pressure. The best blitz, what you're trying to do as a blitz You're trying to get the maximum amount of pressure while at the same time sacrificing the least amount of back end coverage. That's the world you want to be in regards to being an effective blitzer. Okay, so as you notice with this play, the real problem here is this guy here, right? We're trying to manipulate the offensive pass protection because we're covering this guy, he really wants to engage with him and then get out of there, which leaves a 3-on-2 deal on this side of the field, right? And the whole time we're only bringing one on this side. So if we can get him to hold just a bit and you're only blocking these two players, someone's going to come scot-free on this side of the field. And that's why it works. When you blitz, you want to attack offensive line protection, not the quarterback. I think a lot of people, they want to get to the quarterback so bad, they bring coverage 0. And it's like, you really want to attack the offensive line protection. That's where you can get in the world where you're only bringing 5 or 4, but you still get someone to come scot-free, right? So here I'll show you one more play where I do this, and I think we get someone coming scot-free again. Watch the center. Okay, he held just a bit, right? Just enough to where, we get a breakdown in protection on this side. Someone's coming scot-free. It's hit, and we get a nice interception, and we go ahead and score. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Now, with this video, you have cover 3 cloud against gun tight. Now you have a creeper blitz with cover 3 cloud on the back end, Okie Eagle 3, right? So think about it. What do you play against bunch? Well, I play cover 4 palms, right? Well, is there a way where you can develop a creeper blitz while playing that? Now you're matching on the back end while bringing a pressure and still rotating coverage to where everything's the same on the back end. So now you can kind of come up with your own spiel on different pressure packages that you can create while still maintaining the back end. That's what I'm trying to get at, okay? So that's part 2. This is part 1. This is part 2. Maybe part 3 I'll get into some more stuff. Oh, I got it flipped here. This is part 1. This is part 2. In part 3, maybe I will dive a little bit deeper, or maybe just give you some more plays you can utilize to defend gun tight. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't a little too analytical. I do struggle in that area. But I'll leave it at that, and I hope you continue to come back. Peace.